All right, what's up, guys? I'm back. Double upload, right? Crazy. Um, I'm fucking sweating and I have to pee so bad, but I have to tell you this because I feel like you need to know. So, I was just looking at everything and I noticed quantum computing. So, this was mentioned to me earlier on live trading, but I was like, nothing. It didn't hit me yet. And just sitting here, like looking through these stocks, and I went through scans just now, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm a fucking idiot. This is what I need to be paying attention to right now. So, we have AI, we have quantum computing, we have robotics a little bit, we have aerospace and defense, and we have basic materials. Um, I think in my favor, I'm going to go with quantum computing and AI. I think those are going to be my top two focuses. Robotics kind of falls along in that category, but I'm not seeing too much from those groups. So right now, looking at this, I'm like, oh my god, I could not be any stupider. And the way that I see this, like the way I see trading first for like a little background, is it's kind of like a game. Like you see everything unfolding, and I see like you see all the puzzle pieces aligning, and like once everything aligns, then you kind of get that picture. Like that picture starts to show up in front of you. Versus if you just had a bunch of puzzle pieces like scattered everywhere, you don't know what the fuck you're looking at, and then you start to put it all together, and you're like, oh, it's a horse, whatever it is. So looking at this, right? So market conditions are getting better. We have the 10 getting above the 20. Everything's like, this looks great. I mean, we still have the declining 50 here that we haven't broken through yet. We did get a little bit of high volume yesterday. I think that was like some news or something. Let's see how SPY was today. SPY had good volume today, which is a great sign. Strong close. Looks like it's going up after hours. Yeah, I mean, pretty good. But on NASDAQ, everything's looking good. So we have NASDAQ, we have QQQ, which is, I guess that's kind of like NASDAQ. These are pretty similar. This just shows me after hours. So, shit's looking good. Like, we're starting to move up. And I like that a lot. Now, what I'm noticing with this quantum computing stuff is, so we have RGTI. Now, at my initial look of this, I'm like, it's not that good. It really didn't look that good to me. But we have this giant move up, and then we have this pullback where it's building a range. And what I notice, and the way that funds operate, is they'll keep buying this stuff up when it goes lower. So retail's taking profits, whatever. Maybe funds get out of it. I don't know what's going on here. This had to have been a fund offloading because that's a major gap down. 41%, 40 down 45% in a day, and then following that with some more selling. 67% in a couple days. That was scary when I saw this. I thought quantum computing was done. But then it bounced and it recovered very quick. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Let me check that out. So I put these on my list, and I've had these. You can literally see that I'm fucking sweating. Like, I need to turn the AC on, but I need to go to the bathroom, but I can't. I have to tell you this. So yeah, we see this thing bounce, and that's like, it's getting bought back up. Like, what the fuck? That's not retail. Like, this is a lot of volume. Look at the volume here. It's getting bought back up like crazy. And then it pulls back, puts in another higher low, starts going higher, pulls back, puts in another higher low. Well, this one kind of dropped down a little bit, but overall, it put in a higher low, right? It recovered very quickly. Like, this day was weak, and then giant day here. It got bought up like crazy. Majority of the candles are following this pattern where it's putting in higher lows, and it's putting in lower highs. This thing's tightening up like crazy. Same thing on QBTS. It's a little bit less obvious, but it's doing it. And then we also have, you'll notice, as these things are going sideways, like the volume is slowly but surely declining as well. RGTI, it's a lot more obvious. I'm like, wait a damn minute. Let me look at this. And then we have QBTS. Same thing, right? QUBT. Relatively similar. Volume is declining. I mean, this one's a little bit uglier, but it is building a very tight range. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. What positions do I have right now? What have I been looking at? PLTR. What's the best performing stock right now? PLTR. Put in higher lows like crazy. This one broke out first. This is my sign that this quantum computing shit might be good. I don't know what PLTR does, but I think they do some sort of quantum computing. Is PLTR quantum computing? I probably should have looked that up before doing this. I look like an idiot. No, PLTR is not a quantum computing company. Provides AI-powered. Okay, so AI, regardless, right? AI, quantum computing, they go hand in hand. So PLTR isn't directly a quantum computing company, but it is an AI company. It is some sort of like robotics, all that stuff is following, I'd say, the same theme. Like, this is all relatively similar. If you have a giant giga computer, giant thing, fucking quantum computing, that's what I call it, my computer, it's got some like graphics card, and it looks like a quantum computer to me. It's pretty advanced. Sounds about right. So yeah, so PLTR is my position right now, and it's doing really good. And I'm like, hold on, this is like some AI type of thing. I guess it's not quantum computing, but pretty fucking close, right? Kind of invalidates my point now that I think about it. But regardless, I still think that that's a very, very good sign that PLTR is a market leader right now. And we have market conditions getting better. And we have these things putting in higher lows like that and building these ranges. Like initially, I didn't think these ranges looked too good. But after like looking at them multiple times and for like the last 30 minutes, I'm like, no, these are good. Sound, this was one where I noticed, this was back when this thing first popped. So this was the same thing, right? Building this giant range, higher lows and lower highs. And look at the magnitude of the run this thing had after. Like, oh my God, it just didn't stop. It went up 380%. So initially it went up 500%. People are like, oh, things are pump stock. Bullshit. Pulls back, higher low. Goes up, lower high. Pulls back, higher low. Goes up, not really lower high. It did try to break out. But then pulls back, higher low. Same thing. It just keeps bouncing in between this range, gets tighter and tighter. This day, breaks out, or attempts to, at least. And I actually bought it that day, right here, and it had high volume. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll buy that. This thing totally looks like it wants to come out of this range. Next day, did this. Next day, did this. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? We had this high volume day, definitely was breaking out. I think I added to it, or I don't know what I did here with that. Definitely bought it, though. I definitely did some sort of buying this day, and then it came down and stopped out. So if you bought it this day on this higher volume when it was clearly breaking through the range, stop is low of day, because you guys know. Watch my other videos if you don't know, or go to my website. I'll have everything linked in the description. And it stops out here. It also closed below the 10. So that is not very good. But switch to the weekly. What happened in the weekly? So if you bought this daily candle right here, this one right here, which is when it was actually first breaking out, and it was on high volume, that was the first sign. You would have bought it, and your stop would have been at the low of the day here, which is this candle, and it would have never closed under the 10, and it would have never taken out your stop. So what you can see is this thing starts to, pick up like crazy. And what else did we see before it started to pick up like crazy? Because we were in this, like this whole run, we were in this. But I actually bought it off of this setup right here, where it started to make a move up. It built this range here, which I wasn't really too attentive to, and I totally should have bought it this day. But it was on kind of low volume. The volume was dying out before that. It was building this range. I just didn't like all this before it. I did buy it this day. I got stopped out quickly, and then I should have rebought it this day, but I didn't. It just wasn't. Honestly, looking at it, I wouldn't have bought it, and I didn't buy it. But this was a good day to buy it in hindsight. And then it made this move up. Moving averages looking great. Pulled back, built this range right here. This was a good range. Tightened up, built a pretty good range. Volume was dying out. And then breakout day right here on high volume. Buy it this day, stop at low of day. And that's when you trail with the 10 from there. So we can see all the way until here, it never closed under the 10. So this is a total move of 188%. But if we had that initial buy back here, somewhere like here, all the way up to here, that's 309%. That's 130% more and multiple points for you to add to this position based on the daily chart. So getting that early entry and putting your stop at the low of the day, like on the daily, getting the daily entry and getting that, you're jumping on that thing quick, but using the 10 at first until you get a daily setup. So once you get a daily setup, then you can use the daily moving averages. So this one was a daily setup. You can use the daily moving average. So you would have sold your position right here on this day, and then you would rebuy it here on this day. So you make the money up to here, 34%, rebuy it this day, and then you trail the rest with the 10. So that would be two very good trades, very, very good way to trade them. Or the other way around, you can just wait for this to make the move up. It's 41% extra, which I would personally fucking love, but it is a little bit more complex. So if you want to just wait, I do think RGTI, I do think QUBT, those are my top, QBTS and RGTI. These are the two ones that I'm very focused on right now, and I think RGTI or QBTS could be the leader. RGTI has a 1.7 billion market cap, QBTS has a 1.6, but RGTI has a faster ADR. Momentum's 3.54. Momentum's 2.50. Technically, RGTI is stronger and has a higher ADR, so it could be the best one. It made a 2,500% move. This one made a 1,000% move, but QBT made a 4,000% move. And it's got a lower market cap, higher ADR. QUBT, QBTS, RGTI. I don't know which one to pick. I guess we'll see which one breaks out. The dollar volume is the highest on QBTS. QBT has the lowest, but it does have potential to make a really big move. It's tough to say. I mean, it's just really tough to say, honestly. QBT traded pretty well on the way up, too. I don't fucking know, man. But, you can buy all three of these. If, they all three start breaking out on the same day, you can 100% buy all three of them. Just do not over risk. So if your total risk is going to be 1% or maybe 2%, let's call it 2%. Maybe your account's not as big as mine. 1% for me is risking $2,000 on the Webull account. A little more than that on the other one. But let's just say I'm risking $2,000 total. I'd diversify it. So I'd go with maybe RGTI I feel a little more comfortable with. I think it has a cleaner range. I'd go with 0.5% risk on this, and then 0.25% risk on this, and then 0.25% risk on this. That way I'm diversified, so in case one is the leader, I can just go back and add to the one that's working the best. Kind of pull my positions from the other ones, or just keep them all three and just trade it that way. But I wouldn't risk 1% on one, 1% on one, and 1% on the other, because if they're going to fail, they're all going to fail consecutively, and then you just risk 3% for no fucking reason. Total risk, I would say 2% if your account's like $10,000 or less. Because it's not that much money. It depends on what you care about, like in terms of how much you lose. If you don't care about losing, then risk whatever the fuck you want. But yeah, for risk management purposes, if you are trying to grow an account, I would say 1% total on this and diversify it, something like that. Like I think RGTI 0.5%, and then QBTS 0.25, QBT 0.25, probably fair. You could split it up, and I mean, if you want to risk a little more, you can do half on QBT, half on RGTI, and 0.25 on QBTS. You can vary it, however you want to, but please just make sure you understand that if you're buying all three, if these do start breaking out and you're buying all three, don't risk 1% on all of them unless you can afford to lose that. But yeah, I just want to come on here and say that because I want you guys to pay attention to these stocks. I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but whatever. Hope you guys like my yapping sessions. All right, see ya.